Everybody take a deep breath. From the West Virginia Department of Transportation's Communications Office, this is WV on the Dot, a bi-monthly informational program highlighting the people, planning, and progress that keep our state moving. Each episode takes you behind the scenes of West Virginia's transportation network, from highways and bridges to transit, rail, and aviation. Thanks for joining us. Well, hey, everyone.
Oh, hey, how we doing?
Hey, welcome to the new reimagined WV on the Dot. Here we are. We're coming to you twice a month from the West Virginia Department of Transportation's Communications Office, studio, or wherever we happen to be. Might be a conference somewhere remote. You can listen to us on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And now, drum roll, please. Thank you. YouTube. This communications podcast and now broadcast is produced by the Communications Office of the West Virginia Department of Transportation. We've got Luke Creasy over there, Troy Morgan over there, Nick Crouch over there, Chris Moynihan, Rusty Marks. This is the crew. This is the Communications Office, and we'll be coming to you twice a month with all things West Virginia DOT. Our viewers are going to learn more about the West Virginia Department of Transportation than you ever thought about. So, what do you say? Let's get started.
Oh, why not? Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Let's start with SRIC, Snow Removal Ice Control. Rusty, what about it?
Well, you know, we love those acronyms, but yeah, that's snow removal and ice control, which, strangely enough, is about removing snow and controlling ice. To do that, we have about 1,000 plows all around the state. We have road graders for bigger situations with more snow. We've even got really, really big snow blowers up in places like Tucker County where it snows like feet at a time. Now, we've got peeps who keep track of all this stuff, and our peeps tell us that between January 2025 and December 2025, we used 223,000 tons of salt. Now, one thing to remember here, that's 2 seasons. That's the end of last winter and the start of this winter. So you're going to have to kind of average that out. We started out this year with 186,000 tons of salt, and people always go, oh, my God, you're going to run out of salt. Well, we've gotten pretty good at figuring out how much salt we need, and if we need more salt, we buy more salt. But it ain't cheap, because according to our peeps, those 223,000 and change tons of salt we used this year cost us almost $19 million.
Whoa.
No, more than 19, almost $20 million. Now, we don't just use salt. We use brine, which is like salt water. We use other chemicals because sometimes salt doesn't work very well below about 20, 25 degrees. So we have other mixtures of chemicals that we can use when it gets colder than that. We are starting to use beet juice to help us with snow and ice control, because what that does is, like brine, it goes down on the ground on the road if we know there's snow coming, and it makes it harder for the snow to stick, but also in the case of the beet juice, it makes the salt actually stick to the road better.
So that's for pre-treating.
Correct.
A couple of things in what you were just talking about. Anybody seen one of those snow blowers? They can throw that snow out. It's unbelievable, that piece of equipment. Also, you know, it's worth noting, and I know that those folks internally know this because they hear this every year, but we do not use salt on the New River Gorge Bridge. We use, because it's already rusted, the steel is already rusted, but we can't, we don't use straight salt on that New River Gorge Bridge.
Salt and bridges don't mix very well.
Fun fact. Our equipment we have an equipment list here, and so as you were talking about our 1,000 plows, I was just thinking I have pages of the types of equipment that we have here, and so periodically throughout the year in these episodes, now that we're in Season 1, Episode 1, we're going to talk about the equipment that our equipment division has and what our arsenal in what we can do to kind of battle the elements, whether it's SRIC or canopy clearing or anything that we do to fill potholes, to pave. Heck, we even have a boat. One of the themes that you're going to see us throughout this SRIC is talking about what we're going to do and talking about what we can't do. And we can talk about one of the things or some of the things that we can do. Chris, talk to us about what we can do and will do.
What we're out there and what we can do is pre-treat your roads. We can continuously maintain them during a storm. We can keep our equipment maintained and up to snuff to be able to handle these storms. And we can also kind of keep an eye on the weather and keep a predictability of what is coming when it comes to storms. I mean, it kind of varies, but.
So that's our commitment to the people. We're going to make sure that our equipment is in running form.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to pre-treat where we can. We are going to plow, and we're going to treat itself with salt and whatever else, brine, whatever else we're using. But follow that up. We're going to do that. What can't we do?
We cannot make sure that your vehicle is in working order. You should check your tires. Just make sure everything maintenance-wise on your vehicle is in good working order because you don't want to break down or you don't want to slide off the road during one of these storms. We also can't buckle you up, buckling your seatbelt when driving. Safety measure. We can't also keep you off of your cell phone or distraction-free while driving. But the biggest thing, too, what we can't do is slow you down. During one of these storms, there's speed limits out there, but you need to slow down because the roads, though treated, though maintained during an active storm, are not going to be perfect. They will be passable, but not perfect. So if you could just slow down for us, that's one of the biggest factors.
You wouldn't want to try to run on a frozen lake. You can't expect to go 70 miles an hour on a snowy road.
Well, that's right. You don't. I mean. We look at our parking lot, for instance, and when it's under ice, and it's funny that because people were just taking really tiny steps in order to get traction. So you're right. It's the same concept. You're not just taking a full stride and even breaking out into a run because you don't have the traction. So your vehicles operate in a similar fashion. So you're going to see that kind of stuff from this communications office throughout the snow removal, ice control season. And we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to get into some of those themes that you'll see through SRIC, but also beyond. So you're listening to WV on the Dot. Let's take a break. All right, and we're back on WV on the Dot. We appreciate you guys tuning in, both audio-wise and now video on YouTube. Episode 1, Season 1, first one of the new year, new reimagined WV on the Dot. Sitting around the table and around the room with the West Virginia Department of Transportation's communications team. It's a motley crew, to say the least.
Hey, but it's good to be all in one room.
It's good, as confined as it might be, but we're in the studio.
We still got some elbow room in here.
Hey, so before the break, we talked about snow removal, ice control, and some of the things that we can tell you we're going to do, and some of the things we can't. And really, that leads into our social media themes and the types of graphics and videos that you're going to see from this office, trying to tell the transportation story in West Virginia.
I mean, we think about this stuff before we put it up.
It's a daunting task, but we're here to do it. And so let's take a look at, or talk about some of the words, the graphics, the videos on social media. One in particular is what we're calling 100% preventable. And Chris, talk about what was behind that.
Yeah, our thought process behind that is that we're just trying to say the majority of these crashes out there are 100% preventable, meaning that you as a driver have to take the responsibility into your hands while you're on the road, that you can prevent these crashes from happening through safe driving, taking distractions out, and making sure that you're paying attention at all times while you're driving.
And I'm looking over at Rusty. He's smiling now, and tell him why.
Roads are designed and built within certain parameters. If you exceed those parameters, you're playing with your life and other people's lives too.
You were talking. That's exactly right. We were talking about crashes versus accidents. There are no accidents.
Well, there may be a few accidents, but most of these are because somebody did something wrong.
Yeah.
They weren't paying attention. They were on their phone. They were looking at the radio.
And so what you're going to see from us in video form, in graphic, but all throughout social media is going to be this stamp, if you will, on a picture of an accident, a crash that is 100% preventable. We get comments, and we've got a segment a little later in the show, but we hear comments all the time about what we can do better. We're just asking and throwing a little bit of that accountability on the traveling public. We're going to do our part. We need you to do your part. And when these crashes happen, if it was preventable, we need to make sure that people know that slowing down can prevent a crash.
Our deputy transportation secretary comes to us from DOTs in other states, and he made the remark the other day that West Virginia is the first place he has been where when something happens, people just automatically blame the road.
Well, there's no shortage of that.
If you're speeding on the road, you may have had something to do with that crash.
That's right. So 100% preventable. We're going to stick to it. And we're not trying to call anybody out. We're going to be sensitive to that. Of course, we've had, even in the last several weeks, unfortunately, we've had fatalities. We're not going to talk about that. We do want to show and continue to highlight the fact that you can slow down, you can drive undistracted, and you can buckle up. And if you do those things, then perhaps those crashes don't happen. One of the other themes that we're going to get into is going to be something that we call understanding your road reality. And what was behind that was that there is so much misinformation, I think, at times between what the traveling public perceives and the realities of that. And, things like salt only works or starts to reduce its effectiveness at, 17 degrees or whatever that number. Do you know that number?
20, 25.
2025, and then anything lower than that, it starts to reduce it. And so people may not know that is a winter road reality. And so we have designed kind of this campaign, if you will, with with the hashtag of understanding your winter road reality. Luke, actually, the hashtag is
Hashtag Winter Road Reality.
Winter Road Reality.
We launched that social media campaign, I don't know, probably beginning of December. And right at the turn of the year, actually, we eclipsed 1 million impressions. So a lot of people are seeing this messaging.
Yeah. And they're going to continue to see that. And again, it's just to it's to pull back the curtain and to maybe give information where there might be some misinformation, and just understanding your winter road reality. For instance, who knew that bridges freeze before the roadway?
What?
Yeah.
Wild concept.
Imagine that.
Wait. Do all roads freeze below 32 degrees?
Well, that
Is that
is
a
the
thing?
freezing point.
Although I will say that certainly road temperatures are a little bit different, but once you hit 32 and below, also wet roads aren't always just wet.
Yeah, there's a possibility for ice depending on the temperature as well.
That's right. Well, these are kind of simplistic understanding your winter road realities. You can go to any one of our social media platforms to view that hashtag. We're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on LinkedIn, we're now on YouTube. Am I missing one?
I think that's all of them. You got LinkedIn? Yeah.
I think you got them.
Yeah.
And if anybody's out there, please, share them, get them out there. We're just trying to push this information out there so everybody can have it and so that it can be to good use while traveling on the roads.
And so we've put together some pretty high-level videos of with the hashtag understanding your, or hashtag winter road reality. And so what I'd like to do is, if we can pull those up and let our listeners and now viewers watch. We have an interview with one of our snowplow drivers, Jesse McQuarrie. He's great. We've tried to get a little bit creative with the Salt Bay. Everybody knows that. You might recognize one of the ones in.
It might be somebody at the table that turned into Salt Bay. Maybe.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
And we also did a nice little video with Luke and Chris talking about a winter road reality. And so let's just give our viewers just a taste of the kinds of videos that we're putting out that have to do with your winter road reality.
My name is Jesse McQuarrie. I've been at the Department of Highways for going on 5 years now. We know everybody out here traveling the roadways through West Virginia, they all got families too. So if we can be out here making things safer for them, that's what we're going to try to do. I got a wife and a 10-year-old little girl at home waiting on me, and it's a struggle for them sometimes. I mean, my daughter, she don't know what's going on. I mean, she knows what's happening when the school gets delayed, or, they wish for snow and wish for snow days, whereas, maybe our wives and, everybody else who's waiting on us at home, or, if you're a woman out here, your husband's waiting on you. They don't want you out here driving slick roads. They stay up pretty much whatever shift you're on. They're thinking about you, wondering why they don't hear from you, because you're out here for 10, 12 hours. You're not sitting here on your phone like if you was in an office. You're not messaging them every 10, 15 minutes. So they may go 3, 5 hours without hearing from you, and they're wondering, are they okay? They put a plow truck over the hill. They hear stuff on the scanner in the news. Well, is that our family member that just got in that wreck?
Hey man, how's it going?
It's going all right. Man, the traveling to work today was treacherous, wasn't it?
Maybe a little bit, but did you get those new tires you were talking about?
No.
Did you check 511 before you left?
No?
Did you clear off your car?
No.
Did you at least slow down?
No.
Did you buckle up?
No.
Were you on your phone?
No. Well, yes to that one.
Well, no wonder it felt a little bit treacherous. Welcome to Around the Dot. I'm Luke Creasy, and this is your official update on all things transportation across the Mountain State. From major infrastructure improvements to local road work, we're keeping you informed on how the West Virginia Department of Transportation is working to keep the state moving forward. You know, we often talk about infrastructure in terms of projects and deadlines, but sometimes it's just about making sure people aren't literally stranded in their own driveways. Case in point, the Lexington Estates Bridge in Hurricane. Now, back on December 18th, what started as a routine inspection by the WVDOH turned into a bit of a localized emergency. Inspectors found some serious structural issues with the support beams over Hurricane Creek, and problems so bad they had to shut the bridge down. Now, the real stress for the folks living there was that for vehicles, that bridge was the only way in or out. The city of Hurricane reached out to the WVDOH for an assist, and I have to say, the turnaround was pretty impressive. Engineers moved into high gear to get a temporary bridge installed and to open up the traffic in just a couple days' time. It's one of those situations where the system worked exactly how it should. The inspectors caught a dangerous problem before anyone got hurt, and the state and the city teamed up to get residents moving again. So a big shout out to the crews who spent their week making sure those families weren't cut off for the holidays. Now, if you've ever worked in construction or road maintenance, you know that once winter hits, asphalt plants usually go dark. They shut down for the season, and if you have a road issue in January, you're usually stuck using cold patch until spring. But the WVDOH just pulled off a bit of a winter miracle in Mason County. Just before Christmas, a 250-foot section of US 35 North basically gave way, a road slip. It forced a lane closure, and engineers are still investigating the root cause, but normally that lane would have stayed closed for months because there was simply no hot asphalt available to fix it. Enter Steve Holmes from WVDOH District 1. He picked up the phone, called folks over at Blacktop Industries, and even though their St. Albans plant was already closed for the winter, they agreed to fire the engines back up just to help out. Because BTI did them a solid, crews were out there this past Monday, milling and repaving. Not only is US 35 fully open for the winter after this done, but they even had enough extra asphalt to patch up a rough stretch of Route 62 while they were at it. It's a great example of local businesses and the state stepping up to keep roads safe when the weather is against them. And if you drive US 460 through Mercer County, you're probably one of the 10,000 people crossing that Oakvale Bridge every single day. Well, those spans are about to get some major attention. The WVDOH just officially awarded a $10.6 million contract to renovate both eastbound and westbound sides of the bridge. Now, these spans have been around since 1972, and they've definitely earned their makeover. Well, what's interesting here is the tech behind the fix. Beyond just new concrete decks, engineers are actually redesigning how the bridge ends meet the road. They're getting rid of those clunky expansion joints, you know, the things that make that thump-thump sound when you drive over them. And by getting rid of those, they're making the bridge more durable and a lot smoother. As State Bridge Engineer Tracy Brown put it, this is all about maximizing the taxpayer investment. By doing this deep dive renovation now, they're adding decades to the bridge's life and making sure it stays safe for the next generation of West Virginia drivers. Now, that's a wrap for this edition of Around the Dot. From road projects and bridge updates to employee highlights and events, we love keeping you in the loop on everything happening across the department. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with more news, updates, and stories from around the DOT.
Don't read the comments. And we're back to the new and reimagined WV on the dot. We welcome our viewers. Might be the first time that that you're seeing us. You've got the team right here, the communications office, and they're a creative bunch, and we're all better for everyone's creativity for sure.
Since it's the first episode, it can't be the second one that they're seeing. So pretty much for
It's the
everybody.
first time.
It's always the technicalities.
You
Always
know?
the technicalities.
It's-
Accidents, crashes, first episodes.
That's why he's
tomato,
the
tomato.
editor.
I'm here to keep you guys straight.
He's the editor. We appreciate that. And Luke, we appreciate you bringing us around the dot. A lot of things going on around the state, and we're going to cover that twice a month in that segment called Around the Dot. Well, this is a new segment as well, and we want to kind of pay some attention to and focus on some things that aren't all that nice at times.
As you know, we do work for the West Virginia Department of Transportation, and we build bridges, we plow snow, and apparently we also provide a 24/7 forum for people to tell us exactly how we're doing it wrong. So today we're going to highlight some of the best of the worst, and we'll take a little look at a bit of the best from our social media feed. First up, we have Ricky. Now, Ricky saw a photo of one of our equipment trucks hauling debris after some canopy clearing. This truck is a multi-purpose truck. It had a plow on it at one point. They removed the plow to do some canopy clearing while we had some nice weather, and Ricky felt a deep personal pain for this vehicle and said, that's why a new/good truck is trashed, hauling brush.
What are we supposed to use? Horse and mule teams? I mean,
Well, let me just say that these trucks are built. Yeah, it's new, but the kinds of things that we use that equipment for, they're going to take a beating, and we've got to multitask, and so our equipment is suited for multiple things. I remember a post that that showed that particular truck doing multiple things. It's snowplow one day, and it is a dump truck the next.
it would be nice if we could afford to buy, a brand new snowplow and then have a beater just to haul brush, but we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah,
Good.
and a new truck's got to become old sometime.
All right, Luke, what else?
And
Do
you have to
not-
use those trucks. Next we have...
Don't read the comments.
Next we have, except I did read the comments this time. Next we have a question from Jake Stickler, who is very concerned about our geometry. He wants to know, why do you have a slow-moving vehicle triangle on the back of a vehicle that is, by definition, not a slow-moving vehicle? This was a picture of a snowplow that had been run into under our 100% preventable social media theme. We had posted that picture. There is a warning triangle on the back of those trucks, and Jake doesn't seem to understand that maybe those vehicles have to move a little bit slower than the rest.
Yeah, specifically when they're doing their job. They don't go over 35 miles an hour, and they're on interstates. So it's to let everybody else know that they are there, specifically during a winter storm when visibility is low.
Here's a fun fact. About 2 or 3 years ago, we bought a bunch of new trucks, and we bought them, they were painted yellow because all our old trucks were painted white. And somebody up in, I swear to God, somebody up in Buchanan, which is where all the equipment goes through when we buy it and stuff. Someone up there at one point said, "Why are we driving white snowplows in the snow?"
Has a point.
So we bought.
does, and
so we bought yellow trucks.
And so
And there are still some of those white ones out there.
There are still.
But,
and we know about yellow snow. So
oh, no.
okay,
Don't trust it.
Luke, what do we got next?
This one kind of goes back to the first picture that we talked about, and it wouldn't be – this post honestly just wouldn't be the same without Larry. He thinks that we need to head back to the classroom. He says that pothole filling class needs a new teacher as well, and then it would be nice to see some of the versatile work on ditches, creeks, and roads. So Larry wants a lot of work done, and
And you know what? Larry's going to get it. I mean, our maintenance, and I don't mean get it, but I mean, he's going to receive that. It would be nice to see work on ditches, creeks, and roads. And here's added benefit. I mean, it's going to happen. Our maintenance crews, when we're not out battling the elements of snow, an active snow event, we're clearing canopies. We are pulling ditch lines. We're working on not necessarily creek beds. That's a whole nother issue environmentally.
We're not allowed to work on creeks.
Yeah.
And without going through a bunch of hoops.
Yeah.
But to that point, there have been 9,646 miles of ditching completed in the last year, 353 acres of canopy cutting, and 431,664 potholes patched. So the work is being done.
Thanks to our peeps who collect this information for us.
Absolutely.
You know, what I wish would happen was the dissenter's voice is always the loudest, and we don't mind hearing it. Believe me, we encourage it because it always it gives us the opportunity to just kind of inform what we view as some things that may come across as misinformed. We do have maintenance crews out there, and the work is being done, but the dissenter's voice is the loudest, and so you hear from them. We rarely hear from people that are pleased with our work.
But, like you said, it's not all shade. We did get some love on social media this week, and there have been several positive comments throughout the whole SRIC season. But, so Suzanne writes here, and she gave a massive thank you to our flower drivers. She wrote that she saw them out at 3 a.m. that morning, and to the flower driver coming from 119 into Morgantown, we know you meant plow driver, but honestly, we're going to lean into it. So from now on, is the WVDOT a floral arrangement business as well? Flower driver, plower driver.
Tag on autocorrect.
We'll take it.
I've been there, Suzanne. I get it.
I kind of
Is
We've
it
been called
positive?
worse.
We'll take it.
It's positive. Yeah, no, it's good. And then finally, a shout out from this might be one of the best handles I've read in a while. At Hellbend Whiskey Bent, a self-described Florida man trucker who says the turnpike looked beautiful and our snow removal homies don't get enough love. He said, shout out to at WVDOT and hashtag WVDOH snow removal highway treatment homies. Y'all don't get enough love. As a hashtag Florida man trucking on icy snowy roads sucks. But y'all have done great work so far. The turnpike is beautiful. Hopefully US 19 is just as clear. We'll see. You know, when a Florida man is impressed by your snow removal,
Yeah.
we're doing something right.
Well, also on the turnpike, you know, those guys, 88 miles of the West Virginia Turnpike, which is part of the West Virginia Department of Transportation, is a separate group, oddly enough, and we can get into the history there. But those guys work hard, and so it's always good to hear when people have a pleasant experience traveling our roads.
So
their snowplows are orange. Ours are yellow. Theirs are orange.
no, the more
Just
you know.
Fun
the more
fact.
you know.
Fun fact.
So
Well-
shout out to the homies and the flower drivers for keeping the Mountain State moving. That does it for Don't Read the Comments for this week. What we'll do now is we'll step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll close out this S1E1, Season 1, Episode 1 of WV on the Dot.
Manominop, don't read the comments. Well, we're back here on WV on the Dot. You know, when we're talking about the nice comments, and we'll take the tough comments too, and it's going to be fun. I think that segment of Don't Read the Comments. every show we'll kind of focus on that. But, you know, it reminds me, those nice comments reminds me of all the great work that our folks do, not just during SRIC, although during that, there are a lot of people that are involved in that effort. It's not just our plow drivers who are a number one.
And they're working 24/7. I mean, these guys, sometimes they go back to the garage and they grab a nap for a few hours, and then they go back out, and the mechanics keeping the trucks running. I mean,
it's not an easy job.
They're not 9 to 5.
And they're multifaceted. You know, the same guys and gals that are driving your snow plows in between snows are out there doing maintenance on the road, ditching.
We saw earlier that interview with Jesse McQuarrie. He actually works in the bridge department.
Yep.
And so, but they're awesome folks. Our mechanics, absolutely. You know, listen, battling the elements can take a hard toll on those trucks, but they're built for it. But still, you get a man down, you get a truck down. That's one less truck that you have battling the elements. Boom, to the mechanic. They've got to get it up and running as quick as possible. But let's also talk about the employees in the districts. Everybody has a role in making sure that transportation moves West Virginia. That's not just a cliche. We've got over 5,000 employees, and they're important to us.
Definitely.
And I know Secretary Rumball appreciates their efforts. He tells them every time I'm around them and he's around a group, it's important to him that they know that the work that they do is valued. And I value your all's work. And so
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
I'm sure.
Right back at you, boss.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you're gonna see a lot from this communications office, continued as we have been for, I think, the beginning of time. But we're going to try to reimagine more and more things. We're going to try to really next level some of our presentations, which involve every one of our social media platforms. And so I think, guys, what do you say?
Yeah.
Is that
Wrap her up, put a bow on it.
Let's do it.
Stick a fork in it.
Hey, we appreciate every one of you for tuning in to WV on the Dot, produced by the West Virginia Department of Transportation's Communications Office. Of course, you can re-listen to this reimagined podcast on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts, as well as the West Virginia Department of Transportation's YouTube channel. We also want to encourage you to follow us on all of our social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Twice a month, we're going to continue to inform, learn about, and talk about all things transportation. So what do you say, guys? We'll see you down the road.
See you down the road.